Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract happiness effortlessly? They don't chase it, they don't try to earn it, and they don't fake it. They simply live, and the world, as if charmed, lays its best gifts at their feet. Fascinating experiences, the right people, and a sense of deep inner peace. Meanwhile, others, and perhaps you are one of them, are in a perpetual pursuit. A pursuit of approval, of love, of the feeling that everything is okay. But the faster you run, the further the horizon seems to recede. This isn't bad luck. It isn't fate or some cosmic injustice. Behind this lies a profound psychological principle that Carl Jung, the great explorer of the human soul, called the path of individuation. He discovered that happiness is not something we find on the outside. It is something that begins to radiate from within when a person becomes whole. Your endless attempts to be better, more accommodating, more right for others. This is not the path to happiness. It's the path to exhaustion. You've created an ideal image of yourself, the persona, as Jung would call it, and you're trying so desperately to live up to it that you've lost touch with your real self, with your true I, yourself. And that is why you feel empty. Because happiness cannot enter a space where the host is absent. But what if I told you that you can stop chasing, that you can become not a hunter of happiness, but a magnet for it, that you don't need to earn anything, but simply return to yourself? Today, we're going to talk about 7 simple, yet incredibly profound habits. These aren't superficial tips. They are the keys Jung left us to unlock the doors to our own souls. By mastering them, you will cease to be a seeker and become a source of light, of admiration, and of that quiet, steady happiness that everyone is so desperately searching for. Pay special attention to the last 2 habits. They are the quintessence of this transformation, the point of no return to your old life. Are you ready to stop chasing happiness and let it find its way to you? Then let's begin. Habit 1. Befriend your shadow. The first and perhaps most challenging habit is to stop dividing yourself into good and bad. It means turning to face your shadow. Jung used the term shadow to describe all the parts of ourselves that we deny, judge, and hide from ourselves and the world. Your anger, your envy, your laziness, your selfish desires, everything you feel ashamed of. We've been taught to believe that to be happy, we must eradicate everything bad within us. But Jung made a brilliant and paradoxical discovery. What you resist persists. What you deny begins to control you from the wings. Your suppressed anger erupts as passive aggression. Your hidden envy makes you devalue the success of others. Your fear of being selfish turns you into a victim who can't say no. To become a magnet for happiness is to become whole. And wholeness is impossible when you cut off half of yourself. The habit of befriending your shadow doesn't mean indulging your vices. It means acknowledging them. It means saying to yourself, yes, I can be angry. Yes, I can be envious. Yes, sometimes I want everything to be just for me. And this is also a part of me. It doesn't make me bad. It makes me human. When you stop fighting with yourself, a miracle happens. First, you free up a colossal amount of energy that was previously spent on suppression. Second, you become more honest. And this authenticity is incredibly attractive. People are instinctively drawn to those who are not afraid to be themselves, because in their presence, you too can relax and take off your mask. Your shadow is not a warehouse of flaws, but a vault of untapped power. Your anger holds the energy to protect your boundaries. Your envy points to your true but unfulfilled desires. By accepting your shadow, you don't become a worse person. You become stronger, deeper, and more real. And happiness only comes into the real world, to real people. It's allergic to fakes. Start simply. When you feel a negative emotion, don't push it away. Stop. Name it. I am feeling angry right now. Don't judge yourself for it. Just observe it. This is the first step toward integration, toward the very wholeness that will become the foundation of your inner magnet, When you stop waging war on yourself, you make space for peace. And this brings us to the second habit, which will change how you see everyone around you. Habit 2. Shift your locus of approval. Inward. How many times a day do you unconsciously seek validation from the outside world? A like on a photo, a compliment from a colleague, a nod of approval from your partner, someone agreeing with your opinion. We live in a culture that has trained us to believe that our value is determined by how others see us. Jung called this mechanism of orienting toward the external the rule of the persona. The persona is our social mask, the image we present to the world to be accepted. There's nothing wrong with having a mask. The problem begins when the mask fuses with our face, and we forget who we are without it. A person living under the dictate of the persona will never be truly happy. Their state of being depends on the unstable and capricious outside world. Today, you're praised, and you're on top of the world. Tomorrow you're criticized, and you're crushed. This isn't a life, it's a roller coaster built by other people. The habit that turns you into a magnet is the conscious shift of your locus of control, your center of gravity, inward. It is the quiet but firm decision. My opinion of myself is more important than others' opinions of me. This isn't arrogance, it's psychological maturity. When you start living from this principle, everything changes. You stop doing what you should and start doing what aligns with your values. You stop saying what others want to hear and start speaking your truth. You dress not to impress, but to express. And here's the paradox. The less you need the admiration of others, the more you receive it. People subconsciously sense your inner foundation. They are drawn to a person who doesn't grovel or try to please. Such a person seems like a rock in a turbulent sea of opinions. Their calm and self-respect evoke an involuntary admiration. They are not asking, "Please love me." They are broadcasting, "I already love and accept myself. If our paths align, wonderful. If not, I will continue on my own." To develop this habit, ask yourself one question each time you make a decision. Am I doing this because I truly want to, or because I'm afraid of disappointing someone, being disliked, or being judged? This simple question is like a flashlight, illuminating the dark corners of your motivation. Start choosing yourself, first in the small things, then in the big ones, and you will see how the world begins to choose you. This inner support gives you freedom from external validation. The next habit will teach you to be free from time itself. Habit 3. Practice mindful presence. We live in our heads. Our minds are constantly chewing on the past, resentments, mistakes, regrets, or they're anxious about the future, making plans, fearing failure, waiting for something to happen. We are almost never where life is actually happening. Right here, right now. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Living on autopilot is precisely the rule of unconscious programming. We react instead of acting. We repeat the same patterns because we aren't present in the moment to make a different choice. Happiness is a very quiet feeling. It's impossible to hear it over the noise of the inner dialogue about the past and future. It lives only in the present moment, in the way the sunlight touches your skin, in the aroma of your morning coffee, in the warmth of a loved one's touch, in the silence when you are simply breathing. The habit of mindful presence is a return home, to your body, to the current moment. It is the intentional effort to notice life as it happens, not to analyze it in retrospect. A person who is present here and now radiates a unique energy. They are calm. They are attentive. When you speak with them, you feel they are truly listening, not lost in their own thoughts. Time seems to slow down around them. The hustle fades away. Their presence is a gift, and people are drawn to this gift like an oasis in the desert. We don't admire those who talk the most or do the most, but those who know how to simply be. Their calm, grounded energy is healing. It says, "It's okay. The world isn't falling apart. Just be here." How do you practice this? When you eat, just eat. Feel the flavors, the textures, the smells. Don't look at your phone. When you walk down the street, look around. Notice the color of the sky, the shape of the leaves, the faces of passers-by. At least once a day, stop for 1 minute and just feel your breath, in and out. This isn't esotericism. It's attention training. You are teaching your brain to return from illusion to reality. And it is in this reality that happiness awaits you. It isn't coming tomorrow. It's already here. You just haven't been noticing it. Mindful presence not only helps you notice the good, but also to manage your most precious resource, which brings us to the next habit. Habit 4, guard your energy. Imagine your life force is a bank account. Every morning a certain amount is deposited, and you alone decide how to spend it. Many of us are unconscious bankrupts. We give our energy away left and right, to pointless conversations, to worrying about things we cannot change, to people who only take and give nothing in return, to trying to save those who do not want to be saved. By the end of the day, we feel wrung out like a lemon and wonder why we have no strength left for happiness. Jung viewed the psyche as an energy system. If there is more outflow than inflow in this system, it becomes depleted. This manifests as apathy, depression, and chronic fatigue. The habit that makes you a magnet is to become a conscious investor of your energy. It means learning to say no to everything that drains you and yes to everything that replenishes you. This is the deepest act of self-respect. You acknowledge that your inner resource is finite and precious. You stop being a public power outlet that anyone can plug into. You set boundaries. A person who values their energy becomes incredibly attractive. Why? Because they don't need to feed off others. They are a source themselves. They don't complain, whine, or shift blame. They are calm and self-sufficient. Interacting with them isn't draining. On the contrary, it's energizing. People instinctively want to be near such a person because their energy is clean and strong. It's not the one who is always available that draws admiration, but the one who is selective in their connections. Their yes becomes truly valuable because it is a conscious choice. Start conducting an energy audit. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what gave me energy today? What took it away? Which interactions filled me up and which ones left me empty? The answers will be your guide. Consciously reduce the activities and contacts on your debit list and increase what's on your credit list. This could be a walk alone, reading a book, creating something, or talking with a friend who truly understands you. You don't have an obligation to be convenient for everyone, but you do have an obligation to tend to your inner fire, because it is the light of that fire that will attract the very people you truly need. When you begin to value your energy, you discover you have much more of it than you thought, and this gives rise to a sense of abundance, which is our 5th habit. Habit 5. Cultivate an abundance mindset. Most people operate from a state of deficit. I don't have enough money, love, attention, time. This way of thinking, this scarcity mindset, creates a vortex that sucks away energy and repels opportunities. The universe, like a mirror, reflects our inner state. If you feel poor, you will find confirmation of your poverty everywhere. Jung understood that our external reality is largely a projection of our internal one. A person with an inferiority complex will see proof of their worthlessness everywhere. A person convinced that no one loves them will unconsciously push away those who show them affection. The habit that changes the game is the conscious cultivation of an inner sense of abundance. It's shifting your focus from what you don't have to what you already possess. This isn't self-deception. It's a shift in focus. You might be unhappy with your job, but you can be grateful for the roof over your head. You might be upset about an argument with your partner, but you can be grateful for the friend who listened to you. A person living from a state of abundance radiates a completely different vibration. They are not greedy, but generous. Not anxious, but trusting. Not asking, but thanking. And this is incredibly magnetic. People are drawn to them because they aren't trying to take anything. On the contrary, they are ready to share. A smile, a kind word, their good mood. They don't compete because they believe there are enough blessings for everyone. They don't envy because they know their own happiness is already on its way. They inspire admiration with their lightness and generosity. It seems as if life itself loves them and tosses them gifts. But in reality, they were simply the first to give gifts to life in the form of their gratitude. The practice here is simple, but requires consistency. Every morning before you get out of bed, or every evening before you fall asleep, find 3 to 5 things you are grateful for. Not formally, but sincerely. Feel that warmth in your chest. I am grateful for this comfortable bed. I am grateful for my healthy body. I am grateful for the quiet outside my window. This simple habit retrains your brain from seeking problems to seeking blessings. You begin to notice the good, and what we focus on grows. Your sense of abundance will grow daily, attracting even more reasons for gratitude into your life. This habit creates the foundation. The next one builds the temple of your personality upon it. Habit 6. Find joy in solitude. In our culture, being alone is often seen as a curse, a synonym for being unwanted, abandoned. We fear it and will do anything to avoid it. Toxic relationships, meaningless socializing, constant background noise. But Jung taught that it is in solitude that the most important meeting of a person's life occurs, the meeting with oneself, with the self. The self is our inner core, our true I, but its voice is very quiet. It's impossible to hear it over the clamor of others' opinions and expectations. To hear it, you need silence. The habit of finding joy in solitude is not about isolating yourself from the world. It's about creating a sacred space for yourself. It is a time when you are not lonely, but alone with yourself. When you stop being for someone else and simply are. A woman who does not fear solitude but values it possesses a special, almost mystical attraction. She doesn't cling to people. Pauses in conversation don't frighten her. She doesn't fill her life with busyness just to avoid being alone. She is self-sufficient. Men and women feel this instinctively. They understand that her interest in them is not a desperate attempt to fill a void. It is the conscious choice of a free person. And this inspires the deepest respect and a desire to earn her attention. She doesn't need a savior because she is her own friend, wise advisor, and loving parent. In solitude, you recharge your inner batteries. You process experiences. You hear your intuition. You do things that only you love. Reading, painting, dancing, walking. You return to yourself. How do you learn to love solitude? Start with small doses. 15 minutes a day. Go to a cafe alone with a book. Take a walk in the park without your phone. Just sit at home in silence. It might feel uncomfortable at first. It's like withdrawal for an addict. But then you will acquire the taste of freedom, the taste of yourself. And when you emerge from your solitude back into the world, you emerge fulfilled, not hungry. You carry a sense of peace and stillness within you. And people are drawn to that stillness like moths to a flame. Solitude gives you access to your inner source, and the final habit will teach you to flow with its current. Habit 7. Follow your inner compass. What if you had an internal navigation system that always unerringly pointed you toward your personal happiness, to your people, your places, your decisions? This navigator exists. Jung called it the self. It's that deep center of your personality that knows what is true for you and what is false. It is the voice of intuition, bodily sensations, sudden insights, dreams. Most people ignore this compass. They live by other people's maps, their parents' advice, society's demands, popular trends. They are not on their own path. and so they feel lost and unhappy, even if they achieve external success. The habit that crowns this entire journey back to yourself is learning to trust your inner compass more than any external authority. It means developing sensitivity to the signals of your body and your soul. When you're facing a choice, stop asking everyone for advice. Be still and ask yourself, how do I feel about this? Does my body contract or expand at the thought of it? Does this idea give me energy or take it away? The answers are always there. Often, they aren't logical. Sometimes, they're frightening. Your compass might lead you away from a stable but unloved job, or out of a relationship that looks good on the outside, but is suffocating you. Following. It takes courage, but a person who lives in alignment with their inner compass becomes the embodiment of authenticity. They aren't playing a role, they are living. Every step, every word is infused with the energy of truth, and this creates an incredibly powerful magnetic field. People admire such a person because they dare to do what others don't. They dare to be themselves. They become a living example that it's possible to live differently, not from a sense of duty, but from a sense of joy. Not by the rules, but by the call of the heart. To follow your compass is to accept that your path is unique, to stop comparing yourself to others. Your path is not better or worse, it is simply yours. And only on that path can you find your treasure. The very happiness that you don't need to seek, because the path itself is the happiness. These 7 habits are not separate actions. They are steps on a path to a single state of being, wholeness. It is a homecoming. To befriend your shadow is to become whole. To shift your approval inward is to become free. To be present in the moment is to become alive. To guard your energy is to become strong. To cultivate abundance is to become generous. To value solitude is to become self-sufficient. And finally, to follow your compass is to become yourself. This is the psychological magnetism Jung spoke of. You don't seek happiness, you radiate it. You don't ask for admiration, you inspire it by your very existence. You don't chase love, you become its embodiment. As Jung said, I am not what happened. To me, I am what I choose to become. Today, you can choose to become a magnet. Not through effort and struggle, but through relaxation and allowance. Through returning to the remarkable, multifaceted, and beautiful woman you have always been. Deep in your soul, your presence becomes a gift. Your energy, an invitation, and your silence, the loudest declaration, I am, and that is enough. If what you've just heard resonates in your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share this light with a woman who might need it. Let there be more. Women living from their true essence. May your life become not a chase, but a dance with yourself, with the world, and with your own amazing destiny.